My first setup was 4x90mm wheels on a flat rocker. The boot was power slide next. How can I describe this setup? If you ever drove stick, you may have tried to get your car moving from second gear, maybe even from third. If you did, you should remember how hard it was for the engine to get your car going. 4x90mm flat setup is similar. It's very hard to get it going. It feels like some giant magnet is pulling you to the ground, or like if you are skating on rails. It's a super stable and super fast setup. If I ever need to grow my quadriceps, I'll go for that setup. It's not very forgiving, you don't make mistakes on that setup. I will definitely try it out again one day. And my next setup was 3x110mm flat setup on power slide swell boot. I remember that transitioning from the previous one was magical. It felt like I was the king of carving. 3 wheels on a flat rocker dramatically improves your carving experience. But then I got my first 3x110 rocker setup and 3x90mm rocker setup. And I realized that so far I had nothing. That mobility, that agility was like something from another planet. Completely unbelievable. Shortly after, I was lucky to get my hands on the 4x90mm rocker endless frame. And this one was the most universal frame I've ever had. The speed was comparable to 3x110mm flat setup, a bit lower but not too far. The stability was massively better, together with maneuverability. I could do almost all my wizard tricks on that setup, while maintaining high speed. I still was emotionally attached to my 3x110mm swell boot setup, so I kept clinging to it for a while. But at some point I just stopped using it, and my 4x90mm rockered endless frame just took over me. Sometime after that I tried 3x110 flat setup, and it felt super stiff, not agile enough. I realized that I couldn't use it anymore. However, it is one of the most amazing versatile setups. The combination of speed, agility and multi-terrain capacities that it gives you is truly amazing. It is one of the super universal setups, so I won't be surprised if for many skaters it will be the favorite one. As for me, my favorite setup has been 4x90mm rockered frame for almost a year and a half now. And recently I started exploring new setups. I bought Adapt boot and 4x100mm rockered wizard frame. That didn't work for me at all. The whole setup turned out too heavy. It sacrificed my agility to a large extent, and this is something I'd like to keep. It drained my energy so quickly that it feels like I returned back to my 4x90mm flat rocker. So I realized that 90mm is the largest wheel I'm gonna skate on, at least for now. A few days ago I ordered a Tau boot from Powerslide and a 5x80mm Ninja frame. If that frame is not gonna work for me, I'll buy a 4x80mm rockered Nexus from Powerslide. I'll make a video about that setup as soon as it arrives and after I test it out. Something funny I noticed. When I just started skating I was trying to get my hands on the bigger wheels. 90, 110, even wanted 125 at some point. But now I'm going in reverse. I don't think I ever go beyond 90mm again, to be honest. And now I'm about to try the 80mm ones. Crazy! I hope I'm not on my way to becoming an aggressive skater. Don't get me wrong, I like it. I just think it's too early for me. If you're into speed skating or downhill skating, basically high speed skating, you need a flat rocker, because being glued to the ground is exactly what you need. You need as much stability as you can get. Rockered setup sacrifices stability in favor of agility, and stability is your best friend when it comes to high speeds. Now, if you just started skating, which setup will be the best for you? If you read the description of Wizard frame, it says something like, for advanced skaters only. Which doesn't make sense to me. Slightly rockered frames are much more forgiving than flat frames. Any ice skater will tell you that you better start with the hockey skates. Ice hockey skates are basically a rockered inline frame. Nobody will recommend you to grab a speed skater ice skate if you're doing it for the first time. But this is exactly what the flat setup is for me. Rockered setup is much more forgiving. If you make a mistake, you'll have more chances that your foot will carve its way out of it and save you from the fall. But I'm just hypothesizing here. I don't have an imperative knowledge. I'm not a teacher. If you have any thoughts about that, please share. Frankly, I believe that slightly rockered setup should become a standard. But just a very tiny rocker, like Wizard or Endless or Ninja frames. I'm not talking about slalom kind of a rocker, which is much less stable but much more agile. So going back to the topic, why I don't want a flat rocker? Summarizing all I've said, I can just say that a slightly rockered setup gives me more possibilities to express myself. I feel less restricted, it gives me more plasticity, my moves are easy, not forced. It's just more fun for me. But nothing is permanent in the skater's world. Everything can change. There are no rules. If you have your own experience with rocker versus sled setup, please leave your comment. I'm really keen to know about other people's experiences. As always, thank you for watching my video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.